What's up, guys? We are back with another review, taking a look at a recent Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figure. I believe this is Wave 3? Wave 3, right? We're taking a look at one of the Gladiator figures. This is AHAW Kin. Now, this wave still comes in the same style packaging that we've seen throughout the line so far. So it's fairly standard, fairly normal stuff. You got a big old window there showcasing the figure, all of his accessories. You've got, of course, name and line down on the bottom. You've got a shot of him on the side panel with some really fantastic artwork, and then the back gives a full shot of that artwork alongside a little bit of a write-up for this guy. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Animal Warriors of the Kingdom AHAW Kin figure. This guy is a Jaguar, I believe, based on these spots. Gladiator. That's enough to kind of get me going. I'm already a big fan of this line, full transparency, I suppose. I've reviewed some of these before. I've been in since the original Kickstarter. I'm a big fan of this line, big fan of the folks that make this line. So let's see what this guy can do, see how he moves around. This is an example of a more standard style of figure for this line. A lot of them are very similar in terms of build and construction, and this guy's no different. But that is to say, they move pretty damn well to begin with. He has a couple limitations just based on his setup, though. So he does have like a fur collar around his neck. That gets in the way of his head being able to kick back. Down, really, really nice, though. You've got tilt side to side for some attitude. You've got full rotation. Arms out at the shoulders. They, of course, swivel. You've got a butterfly joint in there. Bicep swivel. You've got double jointed elbows. We've got different kinds of hinges on the hands. The left hand is a lateral hinge. So, side to side, swivel as well, of course. The right side is a vertical hinge, so just a little bit of a difference. It does have an ab crunch, goes backwards really good, forward all the way. And this is one of the things I love the most about these figures is the ab crunch and the overall torso articulation. They just have a lot of range. The waist is a ball peg, so he's got tilt side to side, which works really well, and that's, of course, your swivel. It also aids in the forward and backward motion. Legs go out about yay far. They kick forward that far. They kick backwards some. You've got your thigh twist up there. We've got double jointed knees, of course. And then you've got rocker and you've got hinges down at those ankles. Everything moves pretty well. The one thing I do really like about these figures is that in general, everything is just smooth. Like nothing is too tight. Nothing is too loose. I rarely, if ever, have to heat them up. And this guy is being reviewed in the coldest part of the year for me right now, where we have a foot of snow on the ground. So it's very cold, and yet he's still moved perfectly right out of the box. They do have a really, really good range in general, and outside of him not being able to rear his head all the way back, this guy moves just as well as any other figure in this line. Now that said, going into this figure, I essentially knew how he was going to move. There's no surprises here. There's really nothing different about the construction of the body style on this figure than, say, just about anything from Wave 1 or 2 outside of the bigger figures. So I knew what to expect there. My main interest was just, what does he look like? How different is he? How cool does he feel in hand? That kind of stuff. And I do really love the design of these figures. They very much come across as toys. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, these look like they're meant to be played with. They are obviously geared towards and targeted towards the overwhelming majority of adults, right? But this looks like a toy. Like, this looks like something I would have wanted to play with as a kid. And that's a little bit of a different approach than some of the other lines I'm into, right? Not everything looks like something a kid should have played with, but this definitely does. And it's all about the bright, vibrant colors, the asymmetrical nature of this figure. I absolutely love that. A lot of figures in this line have an asymmetrical look when it comes to their armor and their overall build. And this guy is no different. Paint is really clean and crisp, and I do love the differing textures and sort of finishes. So you've got, just cast plastic on some of it, but then he's also got metallic to add to that sort of asymmetrical look. You've got things like one knee pad is painted, or one pauldron is not only a different sculpt, but is fully metallic compared to, flat on the other side. Of course, you could obviously fix that up if you wanted to, but I love the way these guys look right out of the box. And typically everything is very clean and crisp, and that's no different here, especially on these spots. Like, they are very clean and crisp. I don't have really any notes to speak of there. They look good right out of the box. And this guy very much does blend in with a lot of the other figures that we've seen thus far with this line. You can remove some of this armor also if you wanted to, pare him down a little bit more, but I tend to keep them stock. A lot of the chest on this guy is painted in comparison to, say, the arms and the legs. The arms and legs are typically mostly covered by armor, so they don't paint those. You do have the details with the spots, but the torso is fully painted, and it looks really good. It adds a little bit of a different finish and texture onto that body. It just makes it pop a little bit more, especially the rosette style, spots that this thing has does kind of stand out a little bit more just by comparison to what's on the arms and legs. And then again, I really love the armor setup on this guy, specifically this metallic, like tealy blue color. It absolutely pops and stands out. A lot of that does come down to the fact that he's a yellowy orange color. So the colors do complement one another. And I think they did a really good job of kind of pairing that out. That color absolutely pops in comparison to what is a more muted yellowy orange color. And then of course you've got what is maybe one of my favorite head sculpts in this line so far. And a lot of it is very similar to the other figures that we've gotten, but it's just this sort of smarmy sort of scowl that he's got going on. This guy, he looks like a bit of a jerk based on this expression. I love all the spotting that runs up the forehead and the back of what would be the hair or the fur. But then you've got a little bit of like an airbrushing on the cheeks there to bring out a little bit of that detail and lighten some of that fur up as well. But it's all about this sort of scowl that he's got going on. It makes him look no nonsense and like somebody that you would not want to meet in the arena. So from top to bottom, I'm a big fan of the way these figures look. Again, they very much come across to me as figures that are meant to be played with. And I think that comes through really, really well in a lot of these colors, a lot of these parts, and how they're put together. Now for accessories, AHAW Kin comes with a few things. It's not an overwhelming amount of stuff, but what he does have, I'm very, very happy with. So to start with, we do get some extra hands. So he's got, sort of grasping, gripping hands on him in the box. We get a set of, style posies, slightly grasping, gesturing style hands. And then you also get a set of fists to go along with them. So, kind of everything you really need at like a base level. But he has two weapons, which I absolutely love. And a lot of that I think is going to come down to their color scheme. And then, one of them is just the design itself. To start with, we do have this like spear polearm style weapon, which I just really like it. I'm not sure I can really put into words why. There's something about how different this thing is that is really doing it for me. I think a lot of it is going to come down to this metallic blade that it's got here, but the weapons in this line, I really like them. They're a little big in some instances, but I do think this one is really nice. It's going to stand really well with this guy if you just wanted to have him, standing it upright just like that alongside of him. It does come apart if you want to store it or, just for ease of use there. But then he also has this, and I cannot get over how much I love this. Until I got it out of the box, I really didn't know how I was going to feel about it. But I love this thing. So this is like a very Mesoamerican, Aztec-y kind of sword. Sword? Would you even call this a sword? I don't know, because it looks like it's made out of wood. But it's just rad. I absolutely love this. I love the big like jaguar head for the hilt there. You've got a red, slightly red-brown wrap for the handle. And then you've got this big curved, I guess we'll call it a plank, with all these symbols on it. And then like all of these like sawtooth-style blades coming out of it. It's just a gnarly-looking weapon. And I really like it. So that's pretty much all it is. I think it's neat. So that's really all he comes with. He comes with just a few things, but I'm very happy with everything that's in this box. So yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this guy. That's not exactly a surprising thing to say because I just like this line and this is more of the same. But there's a lot about this figure in particular that is also just different enough that it's worth buying him. It's not just another anthropomorphic animal guy. This dude has a serious set of armor. He's got an awesome paint job. He's got some really cool weapons. Again, I can't stress enough how much I love that very like Aztec style sword with I don't even know what to call it, the little blocks that are sticking out of it. It's just a cool looking design. I absolutely love it. And this big jaguar looking dude just looks really cool with this bright blue metallic armor, and he fits in really, really well with the rest of the line. So if you're down for more AWOC stuff, this guy is definitely not one to miss. So that's going to do it for this look at the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, AHAW Kin. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.